Alright, Jose Monkey, come and find me.
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm Jose Monkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Guys, this video looked pretty tough, and I made a small mistake while looking for it that cost me some time. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, I updated my profile picture to include the beard, as many of you have been suggesting. Of course, doing that meant I had to make changes all over the place, including to the merchandise in my store. Stick around to the end, and Chad will tell you all about that, and also tell you how you can save a little bit of money if you're planning on buying anything at the store anytime soon. Okay, let's take a look at the video.
Alright, Jose Monkey, come and find me.
So what can we see? This person appears on camera asking to be found, and in the background we can see that there is a cell tower nearby. I also noticed that this portion of the video is mirrored because I recorded it in selfie mode, and that wouldn't have mattered too much, except for the fact that I noticed that we get a glimpse of the license plate here. So I flipped the video around to get a better look at it. Even so, we can't see that much. I'll come back to that. After they ask to be found, they flip the camera around and show us this view. They appear to be on some sort of unpaved service road that is running alongside a highway. They zoom in on that nearby highway and show us this portion of the road, where we can see that it kind of curves around to the right, and there might be a bridge here, but I wasn't sure about that. We've also got this billboard, but it was pretty blurry and I couldn't make out any of the details. And we can see the back of this road sign, so that wasn't very helpful. Next, they keep turning the camera and we see this row of small trees here alongside the road. We see another road sign here, but it's at a really hard angle and I could not make out anything that it said on it. They turn a bit more and show us the back of another road sign. By the way, I believe if they were to keep turning just a little bit farther in their video, that we would see the cell tower that we see from the very start. I think it's off to the right here based on the power lines that we see. Okay, so that license plate that we see does not show us very much. However, there are a few frames where we can see just enough to see that the first word is north. There are only two US states that start with north, North Dakota and North Carolina. I was pretty sure this looked more like North Carolina. But even without going on a hunch here, I was pretty sure that this is the type of permanent tag that North Carolina issues to state-owned vehicles. Okay, so we're probably in North Carolina. Based on what we see here, I figured that the cell tower, the highway, and the power lines were probably the only clues I really had. Now I figured that this was probably an interstate just based on the way this highway looked. So I figured the first thing I should try to do was look for cell towers that were very close to interstates in North Carolina. By the way, I'm using the term tower loosely here. It is often difficult to know whether to refer to structures like this as a mast or a tower. Technically, a tower should be freestanding and a mast would have guy wires to help support it, but people often use these terms interchangeably. I mention this not to be pedantic, but because the OpenStreetMap database has different values for towers and masts. And people do not always use the correct values when tagging these objects. And just to complicate matters even further, there's also a value for antenna. Needless to say, these are the types of issues that you get when using a crowdsourced data repository, and you have a lot of well-intentioned but independent contributors. Having said that, I tried to look for cell towers in North Carolina that were within 100 meters of interstates. 100 meters is about 100 yards. I got a bunch of results and I just started looking through them. I figured I could rule out any locations that didn't have an obvious service road running alongside the highway. Because I went through all those locations, I didn't find this place. So I adjusted my query a few times, swapping out mast for tower, and also adjusting the distance that I estimated, just in case that highway was a bit more than 100 meters away from the cell tower. Of course, doing that gave me many more results. So in an attempt to keep it to a manageable list, I also further filtered those results to only the cell towers that were very close to power lines. Honestly, I should have been doing that from the beginning. Anyway, when I did that, I got a short list of candidate locations. Long story short,
Too late.
I eventually found this location where I could see a service road that looked very much like what we see in the video. And guys, that was it. You were here in Salisbury, North Carolina. I used Google Street View to confirm all my landmarks. That nearby road sign that was hard to read in the video is this sign for Salisbury and Charlotte. We can also see the cell tower and the power lines here. Over in the other direction, I was able to find that billboard that we see in the video. It is for a Chick-fil-A that is at exit 91. And I found those two signs that we saw the backside of in the video.
Hey, yo, don't be looking at my backside.
This one is for exit 81, and this one is 84. And of course, you were standing right over here. So in case you're wondering, that cell tower was just slightly more than 100 meters away from the interstate. That's why my initial query didn't pick it up and why I said I made a mistake that cost me a little bit of time. To be fair, my estimate was very close to correct, but maybe a bit too close because I needed to cast a wider net to find the locations where the distance was almost exactly 100 meters. Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And this time it's one of the places I found in lightning round number 5 in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's only about 42 miles or 68 kilometers away from this place. Okay, Chad, tell the people the good news.
I bet. You guys know how Jose Monkey copied my sweet beard, so now we had to update all the merchandise in the store. But while we were updating the old designs with the new logo, we also put some new stuff out there. So we got this one that says, and guys, that was it. And also this other design for people who like side quests. You can get that on shirts and mugs and all kinds of stuff. If you want any of that stuff, use the code BEARD to save 15% off from now until the end of the month. Guys, if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.